They're all over it.
Hello, we kept you waiting there, so sorry.
Sorry. We are here now. We are.
We're here
It's
now.
strange. One of us
But
is missing. It's really weird when one of us is missing.
it's normally me. I'm not normally in the in this position where I have to like make up for one of us missing.
I'm normally here because I never do anything exciting. It's just like, you know. But
Well,
so yeah, never mind.
yeah.
But you are
It,
here. I am here, and we are representing Kat as well because this evening is roundup number 5.
5. Yes.
And Kat has given us her scores. So rather like when
Mm.
Philippa, we don't have any exciting envelopes. And then some of you remember Philippa gave me the envelopes and it was like an awards ceremony. It was very
You enjoyed
exciting.
that, didn't you?
I did. I really, really enjoyed that. Like maybe a bit too much than what is normal. So, but we've got Kat, and they will be. Philippa is in charge because it's technology based this time, so clearly. But we don't know what her scores for her comments are, just like before. So we've got 3 we're rounding up today. We normally do 4, but we're not doing Q because some of you will remember when Julian came on and did quirky John Aubrey. So
Aubrey.
yeah, so we're not scoring him. He was a cutesy hero. So we've got 3. So we've got Edward the Confessor, Ted the Grass, William Shakespeare, and whoever the other one was, I can't remember.
Raleigh. Head in the
Raleigh.
bag.
Head in the bag. Yes. So those are 3. So I will let Philippa explain the scoring to you. We were just in a moment. We were just discussing before we came on that neither of us are Cat, and we can't do the disclaimer. Now,
Well, we
most of
can do
you,
it, but not in the way Kat does
we
it. It's
can't
basically,
do it justice, can we?
I
The
wouldn't
way
even
Cat
try
does it.
to
Yeah. So
copy.
a lot of you know the score, basically. But essentially, we're just going to say this is kind of grown-uppy history in the sense that we sometimes talk about things that aren't very nice, but that's only one aspect of it. The main reason that you perhaps need to avert your eyes, ears, and all other parts of you, and divert away small people and those of a delicate disposition for everyone's safety, sanity, and the law, is that it can get a bit rude, it can get a bit sweary, it can get very innuendo-y. We can go off on mini rants. Sometimes our faces have subtitles, even if we're trying to control what's coming out of here.
Good. We do not play poker, and
We don't.
you would know.
We'd lose all our money, but it would be funny.
I like
So
those memes on
basically,
Instagram where it says me not saying anything. So, yeah, that's me.
those types of things. So if anybody who is here a lot and wants to help out anybody who isn't normally, if you want to give any other words of stringent advice to people coming in, basically protect delicate ears and dispositions of all kinds. If you're not going to
Oh,
like it because you don't like things being a bit shouty, sweary, smutty,
just
you're
get
in the
out.
wrong place. You've been warned. Now's the time to sort of pop off,
Yeah.
really.
And also, see, I get this on my other channel, but I don't say anything. If you don't like it, just move on. We don't need to know that you were even here in the first place, okay?
Yeah. And it's not really just a question of needing to, we don't care either.
We don't care. I don't care on my other channel either. People
No.
announce they're leaving. I'm like, okay.
You had one of those the other day, didn't you? I'm going. All right.
Well, it's so
What do you
I do
want?
my
Like,
live. I do my live, and it's like this. We chat for a bit. We chat for a bit before we get into it
yeah.
because it's a sociable thing as well. And people right underneath it took us 17 minutes, 17. So they've actually like they're really
14
specific
minutes,
as well.
14 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. To get to what she was supposed to be talking about. How did you know what I was supposed to be talking about? It's my show. I'll decide what I'm supposed to be talking about. Like, just piss
Also,
off.
you sat there for 17 minutes and 14 seconds just so you could bitch about it
Oh,
afterwards.
or if you
Do you know what I
scrub to
mean?
the
Like,
bit, if you
enjoy
scrub to the
it.
bit where I started,
Yeah.
job's a good one. Just
Yeah.
start there. Just start
If
there.
you don't like it, go and get a different hobby. Like,
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it is their hobby, yeah. But yeah,
with,
Deb, there
yeah,
you go. Pop in an
different
earphone.
hobby.
Jesse, it's not
Yeah.
an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. Indeed. In fact, they don't even bother with airports very much now. When I was at Birmingham, going over to where did I go? Cyprus a few months ago. Oh my god, it was the hardest thing to find where the where your plane was going from. I was like, this is
Just
not
pick a plane.
this is
Get on it.
stressful.
It'll
That's
hope
funny.
for the best. I haven't been on an
Yeah.
aeroplane for a long time. I don't really like it. I mean, I'll do
No,
it, but it's the going up bit I don't like because your
I
ears
just
hurt and you're like, if there's gonna be an accident, I've just hit the point of no return now. But then once you're up there, it's all right.
once you're up there, you're up a very long way going a very fast speed. Just thought I'd
It's
point that
best not
out.
to think about it, isn't it, really? It's best just to
Yeah,
drink the
pressure.
tiny little cute drinks and, put your headphones in like you need to now if you're around children or whoever else. And, yeah, just, "Lucas,
Yeah.
go to bed." Just
Does he
don't think
listen to
about
you?
it
Has
very
he
much.
got to the age though yet where he's just not listening?
What, Lucas? Don't listen to anything
Mm.
I say.
There you go.
Unless it's, "Do you want to talk?"
It's been breached. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's a point of no return with kids. We've got to say thank you very much to Chrissy
Thank you,
for her
Chrissy.
super chat for
You.
99999. Thank you, Chrissy. It's very kind. You can support us with super chats. You can also support us with Winnebogos, which
Speaking of dodgy forms of, manoeuvring from one location to another.
yes. The plan is eventually that we go on tour together.
Oh,
I mean, Kat's got to stop having babies and stuff, but at some point we'll do that. And the idea is that we make it as uncomfortable for Catherine as we possibly can, and Winnebogos are the way to go. So
at least the Winnebago is on the floor and not 30,000 feet in the air.
yeah, we shouldn't take off. If we're taking off,
Something's
something's
gone
gone wrong.
wrong. Will you buy me lots of tiny little cans of pop and things like that so
Yeah.
I can
Well,
pretend I'm on an aeroplane going somewhere really exotic?
well, if you're going on holiday, you need the little cans of pop and the
Mm.
little cereal boxes.
Yes,
The variety packs, that's a
that's
given.
kind of standard procedure, isn't it? And, oh, yeah. I like
Yeah.
watching that screen. This is really tragic because normally, like last couple of 3 times I've flown, I've gone long haul, and you get to Florida and you get this little screen that says, "Here's where you are in the world now. Here's where you are going to be in the world." But it's like 4,000 miles or something
Yeah.
on
No,
it.
you
It's
don't.
gonna take forever to watch this tiny plane. And like, have a look. Look, we're this far now. And last time we were 3 hours into this 9-hour flight, and Oscar went, "Are we there yet?" I was like,
Oh. Is
"Darling,
there a
we're a
spare
third."
seat, anyone?
Yeah, just like you could get out now, but it would end badly. I mean, like
Mm.
I've paid a lot of money for your swimming lessons, but I don't think I don't think they're gonna work right now.
Not
So
from
I want
not from
holiday.
30,000 feet or whatever, no.
No.
No, so the other rule is, of course, don't Google it. If we come up with
Oh,
something,
yeah,
probably
you don't
best that you
need.
try and work out what we're trying to say, but don't Google
Yeah.
it.
The chances are it's bad if you don't
We'll
know
let you
what
know
it
if it's
is.
safe to
If
Google.
it's safe, we'll go, "No, that's safe,
Mm,
that's
mm,
good."
mm.
I want to go on holiday now. I would just like to shout out to Bobby Ann. She got me a load of like maps and pins and postcards from Disney World, and she sent them to me. So if she's on
Oh,
here
sweet.
now or if she sees this coming up, I wanted to say I've messaged her, but just give her a little bit of a shout
Very
out.
nice.
Maybe
Yeah,
babies.
bribes, presents taken, sent to we're good for that. Good for that.
Anything really. Um,
Okay, so should I try and explain the
I
scoring
think so. There's no
system?
point in me trying.
Okay,
Definitely
yes, fair
waste
enough.
of time.
So, so we are scoring the last 3 history heroes. This will go into our league table of history heroes, and the idea behind the history heroes series is the opposite of what we did last year with the deceased gits, whereas everyone in the deceased gits list was presumed to be a git, and we looked. What was that?
Something's just gone ping.
Was that
I'm
you or me? Um,
You're going to say to me, "Turn that off, Catherine, because I've told you how to do that before." And I'll go, "Yes, Philippa, you have, but it's me and I can't remember, and I don't want to accidentally close this window down."
okay, it's
Whoever
just.
it was that just pinged me, if you're watching, don't ping me again. Whoever it was, I love you, but please don't ping me for at least an hour.
So yes, with the deceased gits, they were presumed gits, and we looked into them a bit further, and some people were definitely still gits, and some people were not quite so gits. So we thought, right, this year let's look at heroes, people who are, widely believed to be a hero from history, and let's see whether they are or not. So it's kind of the opposite. So we score them, they go into the league table, and we'll have our, you know, we'll provide a halo to the winner at the end or something. And we have the last three to do. So Walter Raleigh, the man with his head in a bag, William Shakespeare, of course, we all know who he is, and Edward the Confessor, or also known as Ted the Grass. And we will score them on between us, three categories. The character, so a score out of 10 for their character, score out of 10 for their level of skill, stroke importance for whatever they did in life, and the positivity of their legacy. And then we'll come to you, the audience, to score with a binary yes or no for were they an agent in their legacy? So in other words, were they in control of their legacy, or is it just something that's developed after they're long gone?
You'll
So it's
also
character level of
jingles, because Kat's not here.
we have no jingles. No.
You just have to sing to yourselves while you're voting, like a silent disco. Just pick whatever you like.
Because I know what I'll do. I'll start singing the countdown, which is copyrighted.
And then you might get sued. Yeah. Oh.
I think we just get demonetized, but then we've got demonetized before a few times.
Some of the times it's because we mentioned the guy with the moustache who was Austrian. We got demonetized for mentioning him.
Did we? Yeah. I don't remember ever speaking about him. Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
that'll get you demonetized.
He just came up in passing. It's like you said, what are you supposed to do if you've got like a World War II channel or something?
They struggle. They struggle. It's
like dress up and just point.
I think that might get picked up as well.
This person, I am Churchill. Now I am Moustache Man. And
maybe they have to like use like I don't know, the Mad Hatter or something. Like I don't know, just don't change the name.
The person you're talking about.
This will be from now on Hatter. Yeah.
Go like it's all
no, I'm glad I don't. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think we mentioned. Well, if I mention it again, we're going to get demonetized again. But anyway, we were talking about. I can't even it's not even bad, but I can't say it because we'll get demonetized. But anyway, so yes. So we're going to score Raleigh, Shakespeare, and Ted the Grass on their character, how skillful they were or important they were in their lifetime, and the positivity of their legacy. And then we'll come to you for each of them to decide whether or not they were their own agent in shaping that legacy. So Catherine and I will have our scores, and I have Cats somewhere. I haven't. I don't think I can show it though. That's the only thing. So you'll just have to believe me that. Sorry.
I didn't show anybody yours. I just read them out. So,
okay. I could have just pretended.
Yeah,
pretend.
4.
But it is.
There were a couple of controversial ones actually.
Yeah, I didn't realise I'd been controversial. How exciting!
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Because it like provoked discussion and different like thoughts.
So then overruled. Was I?
No, we were like, no. Once we've picked ours and we read yours, we're not changing it. So most of the time it was a consensus, but there were just a couple we went, oh, we haven't looked about it like that.
Oh,
nice.
I did do them. I went for like, you know, when you're supposed to just not think too hard about something and just go for it. That's what I did. So yeah.
Yeah, I overthink everything, so I don't understand what that means.
Melissa says she watched channels frequently use grape. Oh, okay. And unalived.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think though with unalived, it's only a matter of time before it starts filtering out that as well. Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to start just
talking about boring stuff. No, don't want to.
Like,
okay.
I don't even know.
Okay, let's get to Raleigh then. His character. So, what kind of guy was he?
Well, was he a little bit arrogant? Do we think? I mean, his wife liked him enough to keep his head in a bag after he died. So either
Mm.
she was very morose and a bit of an attention whore, or she was very upset about his death, or maybe both,
Mm.
or
I
maybe
think the
both.
2 could be true at the same time.
Yeah, as Kat would
Because you
say,
can
column A, bit of column B.
yeah, a bit of column B. Probably a bit of column C with that one as well, but, like, if you can be upset without needing to. I could understand retrieving the head,
Yes,
so that it doesn't get stuck on a pike or whatever.
abused or yeah.
Yeah,
Bury
but
it,
keeping it
love,
yeah,
bury it.
bury it straight
Right.
away, not but anyway, I suppose
Like
ours
literally
is not
straight
strange.
away, or even
Mm,
just lob it in the water yourself. Just don't it's not a handbag,
gruesome, gruesome, gross.
basically.
Okay, so, yeah, well, he was a pirate at a time where
Yeah,
that was okay. If it's okay as long as you're only, pilfering from the Spanish.
well,
Well, maybe not only, but it's definitely okay.
everyone's got to have standards for liquor, even if they're
Mm.
very low. Everyone's got standards.
But yeah,
Um,
he seems to be loved by his family, and I think maybe that goes some
mm,
way.
that goes.
He was, I don't know, he was, well, didn't he wrote a history while he was in the Tower, didn't he?
He did, yes, and he was quite a prolific. And did he do some poetry? And it was really shit.
Yeah, not a great poet. But then
No,
I'm not into
that's not
poetry
really
anyway, so
character, is it? That's just being shit at poetry.
mm,
So,
mm. I think he
just
seems to have been liked, but then he gets on the wrong side of people. So I don't know. Um,
but the thing is the people he was getting on the wrong side of, monarchs, for example, are very easy to
easy.
get on the wrong
Mm.
side of. Like, they go out of their way to get people to be on their wrong side just for the lols, really, don't they? Like, "Oh, I don't like you this week. Next week, I'm going to give you all my money and get you to sail to the other side of the world and bring back a Fabergé egg. But then you're going to come back. I'm going to have you a great feast and I'm going to cut your head off."
The Fabergé eggs over
And
they're
they might
laid by
not
s
have
a
had
Fabergé bird, are they?
yeah, they might not have had Fabergé eggs back then. Whatever the
They weren't
equivalent
on
of
the
a
other side of the
Fabergé
Atlantic.
potato to potato, some tobacco.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
You
Here's a
can have a
very exotic
Fabergé egg
egg.
or a potato.
No, you could have said it's this is a egg of sorts. I don't know.
Oh, you see, there's a missed opportunity. Oh, this was the Amiga Migga Gum Gum bird. And you have to keep this egg for 12 years, and then it will hatch into the most magnificent thing you've ever seen in your life.
Mm, you'll sit on it though. Okay, so I'm gonna give him
Be careful how you sit on it.
I'm gonna give him a mm,
I'm going to say 7.
yeah, I was gonna go 7. Let's see what Kat says.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bear with me, caller. She said 7, his wife
Oh,
seemed to be fond of him.
I mean, that's fair enough. Okay, so
She
we've
did.
all got the same.
Yeah.
That's probably a good indication,
Mm,
isn't it? That
mm.
we've all gone roughly the same. That means it's definitely right.
So his level of skill or importance. I thought I'd written impotence then. Importance.
Well, I mean, who knows? In terms of impotence. Um, you see, the thing is that he was important in the sense that he got sent away to do things. His skills were recognised. He was obviously valued by the monarchs in question. But he wanted to be the guy that crossed the T's and dotted the I's, but he wasn't able to do that in the end, was he?
Mm,
You know, he wanted to be the one that discovered everything, built the colonies, and be the sort of the person that had put this together. And while his travels were like recon missions and very valuable in that capacity, but I think he wanted to be the person that did everything, and he wasn't quite able to manage that.
mm. I mean,
So
he comes undone in the end, doesn't he? He
yeah.
gets on the wrong side of well, Elizabeth and then James.
Mm.
Mm.
So James was a bit weird though, wasn't he? James the First, very unpredictable man.
Gareth's got a book coming out about James,
Mm, like
which will be good to delve into.
James,
Um,
Stuart. So I think he was important. He wouldn't have been given the roles that he was given. He wouldn't have been able to rise through the ranks the way that he did if he wasn't good at what he did and he wasn't capable. And obviously, he was seen as an important, integral part of this colony building. But in terms of success, it wasn't quite what he had envisioned and perhaps maybe what everybody had envisioned. He was, I think, was supposed to be end game, but actually he was a strong warm-up act.
Yeah. I think he must have, because he was fairly sort of very low level gentry, wasn't he? Born.
I think
Yeah.
so,
So
yeah.
he
He did
he
well.
must have had capabilities.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
going to say 8.
8.
I
I'm going
think.
to go 7. Kat has said 6. He made
Oh,
risky and rash decisions and engaged in court conflicts that made him dangerous enemies. Okay.
high tension drama.
Okay. Oh, here we go with this one. The positivity of his legacy.
Fabergé eggs.
I don't think it's
Potatoes and emphysema.
potatoes.
Potatoes and emphysema.
An accent comes out. Potatoes.
Potatoes. It's worse when I get angry. You probably noticed that when something really riles me, I get really common.
How do you say water?
Well, it
Water.
depends. Yes, if we're having a conversation like this, I'd say, "Oh, I'm going to have a glass of water." Water. Even then, it's a little bit twangy. But
So you
if
say
someone
glass, which is
say
posh,
like
but
glass,
I
grass,
say glass.
heart, yeah.
Mm.
If I was really fuming with somebody, say I was in the sea with them, and I was really angry, I'd be like, "Get out the fucking water!" So it's, I don't know why I'd be in the sea with someone and absolutely furious with them, but you know, it's
You could
just
be in a swimming pool. I mean, if you went to the sea there.
yeah,
Okay.
and then
Cool.
get kicked out of the swimming pool. This is the
Right.
children's swimming lessons section. It's
I
not
got
history after dark. Get out.
I went swimming when I was training, and I went swimming with a girl. We were doing a lady. We were doing. We were getting ready for a competition, and we went swimming. And when you go to the swimming pool, there's always people swimming in the fast lane who aren't fast. I don't know why they do it because it's not very comfortable for anyone.
Delulu.
And
Delulu.
yeah, even if you're overtaking them. And my friend got so annoyed that she bopped this man on the head with her float. I mean, like, it's literally, it's a foam float, and she just went
Stop it.
on top of his head.
Pick them
She was
out.
so annoyed. I was like, it's funny.
Do it again.
Mm.
Do it again.
And swam off.
Oh.
And,
Quicker than him because
mm.
he was slow.
Yeah, we were slow. Although you
So
do meet them coming back the other way. Yeah. Okay, so his legacy, Raleigh's legacy. Now, I think perhaps
Fabergé eggs and emphysema.
yeah, emphysema. I mean, tobacco.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like it's not popular, and hasn't been since.
Yeah.
And the potato is pretty popular.
It is still. So, yeah. Cholesterol and emphysema. There we go. Hooray.
I don't know that we can actually blame him for
I think
overuse of
maybe
such
we
a product.
can't, probably not. No.
But,
So that might be the legacy, but he didn't know. We've got to be fair about it. So
Mm.
legacy really, obviously, was pretty grim when you think about it. It looked good for England or Britain at the time, but obviously colonialization and stuff like that, not good. It's bad. It's bad.
Whether we can put that all on at Raleigh's doorstep, though, I don't know. Okay.
No, because I don't think anybody could have foreseen the far-reaching, over the centuries,
Yeah, so this is
never-ending
very early.
consequences of this. Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I don't think
What is legacy? Bicycles. Raleighs are still being made. Bicycles, Fabergé eggs, emphysema, and high cholesterol. It is that.
Okay, so
Can you prove he didn't have any Fabergé eggs? Can you? No.
probably, yes. No,
I mean, I can't prove that he did, but you can't prove that he didn't. So we're even.
okay. I don't feel like I can tip over into the positive half of the scale. So I'm
No.
going to go 5 because I also don't feel like we can put too much on
Mm.
his shoulders alone. So I'm going to go 5.
I'm going to say 4. I like potatoes. And Fabergé eggs, if anyone wants to give me a Fabergé egg.
Yeah,
It is safe to Google Fabergé eggs if you don't know what they are.
yeah, other types of eggs, not okay. So Kat has given a score of 5. She says, while the story of his life, his writings, experiments, and other works are fascinating, the human cost of the colonization he promoted is immense and ongoing. So there you go.
So
Good
there's the
balance.
difference between me and Kat. Kat said that, and I went for Seymour and Fabergé eggs.
Potatoes. Okay.
Oh
So
God, shall I just go? I'm just not sure I have anything to add to this at this point.
so right, so we're coming to the audience now because we need to score him on basically how much was he the agent of his own legacy. So a
Am I
Y for
tired?
yes, an N for no. We're going to give you 20 seconds.
4 seconds. Well, it's supposed to be 30, but it's going to be
I
a
know,
long
but there's
time
no
without
way
a
we're going to fill
jingle,
it.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
going to be a long time without. Shall I time 30? Are you doing yeses and I'm doing no's?
Yeah, go
Is
for
that
it.
what we're
Okay,
doing?
everyone. Are you timing?
Hang on. Stop. Okay, ready,
Okay.
steady, vote.
Go. You've got 20 seconds, everybody, to tell us whether
Mm.
you think he was the agent of his own legacy or not. I'm actually feeling like I need to score this the opposite way around because we've given him a fairly low legacy score. So therefore, if he's
Mm.
not the agent of his legacy, I'll have to think about this one. Right. Okay. So what am I
So
doing? No's or am I doing yeses?
it's you were doing yeses, but it's mostly yeses.
It's
Oh, hang on,
mostly
it's more
yeses.
than 20 seconds. Okay, stop. Yes, I think is the answer. We see, in terms of that, I think he was the agent of his own legacy in the sense that what continued was what he started, and I think in terms of how big colonization got, I think that probably was what he wanted to achieve, even though he couldn't achieve it.
Mm.
That's where his thought. So he didn't really achieve it, and he couldn't have foreseen everything that had happened. But he wanted to go hard or go home. He ended up
Mm.
coming home, but that was kind of the plan.
Okay.
So
Cool. So
yeah,
we have a score for Raleigh and Wheezy Squeeze Box. The first Fabergé egg was made in 1885. He didn't have any Fabergé eggs. I think.
okay,
So I did
maybe
prove to
maybe
be.
he had a time machine because he did a lot of
No,
traveling.
no.
Prove it. One of these
Okay.
days, I'm getting hold of a time machine, and then you're all in
No.
trouble.
Everyone will be in trouble if you get hold of a time machine. To be fair, everyone's in trouble when you get hold of a car or a computer. So
I don't mean to tempt fate, but I've never had.
Mm.
Oh no, I have had a car accident, but it wasn't
You
my
had a
fault.
massive car
I did
accident.
have a massive car accident, but to be fair to me, it wasn't my fault, and there were witnesses.
Yeah,
But
still your
again,
ass on
famous
the
last
tarmac then.
words. I've never like reversed into a pile of pile of what? I've never reversed into a pole or anything. You know, tomorrow now I'm going to be messaging you going, Philippa, I've just run someone's car
After,
over.
after.
I've just had to pick tiddles out my wheel arch, just reversed into a wall or something.
Yeah,
So yeah, I forgot about the massive car accident.
yeah.
Anyway, that wasn't my fault.
It, yeah. No, I know, but it's So when I learnt to ride a motorbike, there's a lot around avoiding accidents, even though because, you know, most of them aren't the motorcyclist's fault, maybe, but I'm sure some of them are, but a lot of it's to do with not being seen, etc., etc. And so
Vulnerable,
you
aren't
have
you?
to ride as if no one's seen you, as if everyone's about to do something stupid. And I have tried to translate that into driving a car. It's a little bit more, especially like I've got a car that you can't hear the road really very much, and you know, etc., etc. So, but yeah, you need to kind of drive as if everyone else is an idiot, because
Because they
it's
are.
so if you're riding a bike, of course, it's you on. It doesn't matter whose fault it was, because you're the one who's splayed across the tarmac. So, yeah,
Motorbikes scare me.
they scare me. That's why I don't ride them
Do it
anymore.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like everything where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Mr. William Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. Yes.
So, okay, first category is his character. What kind of man do we think he was?
Well, this is tricky, isn't it? Because we don't
Mm,
really know much about him. I mean,
which
you
is
covered these
interesting, isn't it?
early bits, but you know,
Mm.
you covered all of it because we're a little bit. Sometimes we have to sort of really do cliff notes, but we don't sadly know a huge amount about him as a
We sort of
man.
know what he was
As
doing in terms of we know, we know where he was
where he was
born, we
at
know what his
school
dad was
and
doing, we know where,
yeah,
yeah, we know where he went to school. But I've never come across anything, and unless I've missed it, but any writings about his report card, or what was he like at school, or
yeah,
we know that he and Anne got it on when he was quite young, to be fair. Well, like
mm.
18 to her
He was a bit of a
24, was it?
one. Yeah,
So they
he
had to
was.
go to Worcester to get his marriage license. But yeah.
Quickly, quickly.
Mm.
But maybe she was just a bit of a, maybe he was very gallant and he swept her off her feet, perhaps.
Mm.
He could have been a bit of a Lothario or just a very nice man. And she just thought, I like him. I think I'll keep him, But we don't really have anything to suggest that people didn't like him, that he was obnoxious, that he upset people. I mean, I'm sure he did all these things in very small quantities because apart from me and you, Philippa, and Kat, everybody does those things. But so we can't say he was amazing, but
Mm.
there's nothing really. If someone's that obnoxious, there would be, especially consistently, or does one really, really, truly awful thing, then you normally hear about it, don't you?
Mm.
I think. So, I mean, he did leave his wife, his their second best bed. I mean, and you can't say fairer than that, can you? In his will, and yeah, I think he was he had to be quite tactful and mindful in his work. So he had to be very careful because otherwise he could have got into trouble.
Mm.
Um, he did spend a lot of time away from home and he missed the death of his son, which I think haunted him. But I
Mm.
don't think there was any malice in that. It was just,
He's away for work, isn't he? He's
yeah.
away.
The thing is that would, Hamlet would have passed away anyway, whether he was there or not. It's just, you sat. So I I think we should score him quite well, is my feeling, because I don't think we have anything to suggest that he wasn't anything other than a reasonably nice bloke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 8.
8, okay.
Although
Uh,
no, yeah,
no, yeah.
no, yeah. I was just thinking, if you're writing stuff like Titus Andronicus, maybe there's something wrong with you.
Well,
But
there is
I'll
that.
put that into the 2 that I haven't scored him.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't getting
Yeah.
the option to block, which I've now it is giving me, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next time I should Fabergé egg up his arse dry and
Yeah.
sideways.
We should point out now, at the moment, while they're not here, when we're getting a troll in the comments, we're not we're the reason we don't mention it is because they don't deserve our airtime, and we are in the background trying to get rid of them. Okay.
And
So
also, they
yes.
could be in a Brighton basement paying for it, as some of you know.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to be feeding
Steve,
into his.
troll in the dungeon. Nice Harry Potter reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. That's interesting though, because to be able to write the things that he's writing, where's that imagination come from? Mind you, I think that about people now, like, some of the films that come out around Halloween and things like that. I'm like, which supposedly normal functioning person wrote this?
Who wrote Saw? Who wrote Saw? Right.
Yeah.
That film disturbed me immensely. It still disturbs me now, and I grew up in Chatham.
Enough said.
Mm.
Yes. So is the absence of evidence of absence of, him
That's too hard
being.
for my brain.
Well, so is the fact that we don't hear anything bad about him enough
Right.
to think that there wasn't anything bad about him?
No, I mean, that's the thing, is we just don't know. So some of it's conjecture, but I can't help thinking if he was truly awful, then there would be at least something that, if he was consistently truly awful, there would be something. Or I don't know. You see, when Hemmings and Condell put together the first folio, they were massively singing his praises. But that you think, okay, they want to sell it. But you've got people who are very influential, like Ben Jonson, for example, who made the odd sarcastic comment about the quality of his work, but would have been the people that could really, if anybody wanted to, tear him down, or at least try and tear him down in life or death, and they didn't.
It's interesting.
And never got his head cut off. So
He didn't. No, he managed
no.
to die in his home, but not particularly old. 52, was it?
So
But yeah, and he'd built up a good legacy for his family, so it could be comfy.
yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. I kind of do feel like there'd be more, unless we're like missing, someone's got some kind of, massive document somewhere that has like everything that was ever nastily said about, he did, his court records, his criminal record or something, and that's somewhere
It's
to be
missing
discovered.
first chapter from the first folio. It's just why Shakespeare was a bastard.
We hated him, but his work was quite good, so here it is.
Yeah, we like the plays.
Clearly it must have inspired people, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna go I'm actually gonna go I'm gonna go 7. Just I don't feel like we can go much higher without any real evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did Kat say?
Kat, what's your score? What did you say? Sorry.
Oh, I said 8.
Oh, you said 8. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Kat actually said 6.
Oh,
Not sure he was a great husband. Seems to have favoured one child, but evidently he was able to work as part of a company, the members of which clearly respected him. So actually quite similar reasoning to what we've got, just a different score. Okay. What was that, 6? And level of skill or importance?
Now, this is a tricky one, isn't it? Because we would say that his level of skill was obviously very high, and clearly at the time his work was very popular, it was very successful. He was commissioned by a lot of very high-ranking people. People wanted to work with him, both in his acting troupes, they wanted to co-write with him. So that obviously suggests that he was, in terms of his work life, at the very least, actually quite successful. And actually, even if he was, going back to what we were talking about just now, about what sort of person he was, even if he was extremely good at what he did, if he was actually a completely obnoxious wanker, a lot of people might not have wanted to work with him. Obviously, though, it's very hard for us to know exactly what his plays were like, because we're only going on what we've got in the first folio a lot of the time. And he couldn't have known his legacy, could he? So I think, but so his importance now we still see as this.
Mm. But if you think
Probably
about
at the time, it was like this.
well,
I
yeah,
don't
but no, but if you think about
know.
it from his level of skill, though, as well, because
Hi
we're
it
talking
must have been
skill, or
high.
is this skill or importance in their lifetime?
I think it's got to be fairly high, hasn't it?
Mm,
Because of the levels of attainment he achieved, how many
mm,
plays he put out, how it
mm,
helped shape the theatre, the money that was raised by his work, the numbers of people that got information, albeit obviously not necessarily accurate information about history. You know, all the people that wanted to work with him have contributed to things. Lots of quartos were sold, so lots of money was made from the different levels of playwright and publishing. People were
mm,
employed. So yeah, I think quite high actually.
I'm gonna go 9.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see what Kat said. Ah, la 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 la. 8. He was at the vanguard of the Did she swallow a dictionary before she wrote these? He was at the vanguard of the she's been AIing it. No, she's not. She actually knows a lot of words. He was at the vanguard of the professionalization of playing, playwriting, theatre ownership, and his success in this is evidenced through the rising wealth and his rising wealth and social status. Indeed, when he goes back to Stratford, he buys a hog off big house, the
Yeah,
second biggest in Stratford. So yeah, he does really well, and he can't have done that without working really hard and being good at what he did. Okay,
Kat
so
knows
that's
lots about Shakespeare, though, and so she's talked about him and discussed him and written about him a lot. So she will have special extra big words for Shakespeare.
yeah, it's trip off a tongue. Okay, the positivity then of his legacy, and we can talk about agency obviously after
Yeah.
whether he was in control of his agency or not, of his legacy or not.
The positivity of his legacy depends presumably whether or not you're a bored teenager doing GCSE history.
I mean, he's prolific. Nobody doesn't know his
Mm.
name.
Yeah.
No one's everyone knows his works to greater or lesser extent. We speak phrases
Yeah,
over and
yeah.
over, that have come from him. So like Steve's got there, the legacy is the modern English language. Well, you know, I mean the Brits, we have so many sayings for things. When I
Mhm.
worked with a Polish girl when I used to work for the water company, I used to say things and I'd be like, I was thinking, I said, that doesn't actually make any sense, does it? Because the literal translation of whatever I was saying was like, I can't think of any now, but there's loads, and a lot of them come from Shakespeare. So he's molded the way that we speak.
Yeah, very much so. And even, I mean, there can't be many people that haven't heard of him, even if they know very little about him.
Mm,
Um, and his work now, as we discussed and we talked about him at the time, is still very versatile. So whatever play you take, you can really put your own spin on it. You can make it your own. You can make it relevant to the tale you want to tell, the time that you're in. Whether or
mm,
not he intended that is impossible to say, but, everybody it's consistent, isn't it? It doesn't die away. It's not one of those things that comes in fads and then drops and comes back into a fad again. It's very consistent.
mm.
It's a big part of British, British, obviously mostly English, really at the time, but British culture. Still raises huge amounts in tourism and everything like that as well. Very significant amounts of things like that. Um, yeah, it's very prolific in the theatre, TV,
See,
books, films.
I think he gets a bad. I think the criticism about his histories not being massively accurate or having inaccuracies in them. I have a theory that Ricardians won't like.
Oh dear, but do tell.
I yeah, I think that actually that Richard owes his fame in large part to the fact that Shakespeare wrote about him.
Mm. Yeah, because it's sort of conversely to the Ricardian saying, "Oh, that makes him look worse." I feel like
If he
one of the
wasn't written
reasons
about at
that
all.
Henry, yeah, you know, it would have been a footnote in the Wars of the Roses, wouldn't he? But I think one of the reasons that Henry V gets bigged up so much is because in Shakespeare's Henry V, he's a fucking hero. He's like a hero. He's like a coming on a white horse, kill all the French people, gives it the big I am, nice bride at the end. So it's like, but actually, yeah, we have Agincourt, and he did marry the woman that he wanted, that he'd been turned down for many years before, and you know, against all the odds, and you know, even managed to achieve all that with a really bad haircut and a bad scar, and all these types of things. But actually, he did some nasty shit as well that was against chivalry and valor, like killing all those hostages and things like that. So he was still a medieval king and a bastard at the end of the day, because it was part of the job description. So it's kind of the adverse effect that they say makes Richard look worse, but it makes Henry look better. So the same thing again, if you know, Shakespeare hadn't written about Henry V, what would people's opinion of him be? So yeah, Richard, sorry, dude. Like Richard cares because he's very dead.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good point.
So I actually, I'm going to go another 9 there.
Me too. Me too.
Let's see what Kat says. 8. He is one of, if not the most famous writers to ever lived. I dropped some points because I feel that the power of his legacy has stilted, impeded the ongoing or widespread enjoyment of his work. So I think this was back to the conversation we had about the fact that his work has become some sort of elite pursuit. It's, you know, it's been performed in very sort of posh English in the past, and that the fact it's in schools in English and not in either drama or history means it's dissected to within an inch of its life, which makes anything boring. So boring. Should I mute you? Should I mute you?
It might be all right. If it's bad, I'll mute myself. I think I might. If I do that, it might go away.
What if you do lots of
I think I'm going down
Mhm.
with something because my ear hurts a lot.
Oh dear.
So,
There is something going around, a little cold going around at the moment, apparently.
you watch someone and go, "No, you've got COVID." I haven't got COVID.
Take your vitamin C and your echinacea.
Oh, echinacea's good. Very good.
Yeah, this is not medical advice, by the way.
Just
eat well, exercise, do all the things you're supposed to do. Okay. So we need you lot to give us a yes or a no when we say as to whether or not Shakespeare is the agent in his own legacy. Did he have anything to do with his legacy? So, Catherine, have you got your timer ready?
This is a tricky one, actually.
Are
you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Ready, steady, go.
Okay, so a yes if he was the agent of his own legacy, or an N for no if he has nothing to do with his legacy. It's an interesting one, actually. I know what I think, but I'm going to wait to see what people say.
I know what I think as well.
And yeah, we've got comments about bad teaching in school. John Wilkes Booth quoted Julius Caesar. Well, he was an actor, wasn't he? So it's probably, something that came into his head. Okay. Oh, God. We're actually going to have to. We actually do have
to stop. Stop paying attention.
Stop.
Well, it looks like
wise?
It's mostly wise. Really, there's a few N's, but it's by far more wise. I don't agree.
11 wise.
I don't agree, but I'm not the public.
No, I would have actually said no as well, because he died really fairly young and without the portfolio, which was put together by his friends. We wouldn't know much about it.
He would have hopefully hoped that his work had lived on, but there's no way he could have foreseen what was going to happen with it. And also, as you say, if we didn't have the first folio, at least half the plays would have been missing anyway. And they made a massive song and dance about it. So actually, he
Jules's got
capacity.
Jules's got a controversial point. You can't have a legacy if you don't write anything. So, okay. Good job, cat's not here. Good job, cat's not here. No. Okay, cool. Let's move on then to Ted the Grass, otherwise known, well, no, is Edward the Confessor, otherwise known as Ted the Grass, if you are in the Edward the Confessor pub in London. So this is our last but one, really, Anglo-Saxon king, and he dies in 1066, and it sets off the year of the Three Kings, because what he didn't do is leave any heirs, or he didn't leave any heirs, and he didn't he didn't leave any heirs, and he didn't name his successor in clear enough terms that it was.
It got messy.
It got messy. So let's talk about him. Is his character.
I mean, I wouldn't hang out with him.
I think
I don't really have much else to say to that.
I actually do think he's a candidate for the reasoning behind doing our heroes is to look into them. Are they really heroes? And of course, him becoming known as Edward the Confessor because he's canonized, or whatever the proper term is. So he's made a saint, but he wasn't a martyr, so he's something else. And all that. It kind of gives him the air of someone I don't think he probably was. He wasn't above using violence. I think we spoke about the fact that compared to, say, Henry VI, who was
probably was really quite a gentle soul, but because Edward the Confessor was like seen as really sort of pious, and he supported the church, and the church were very pleased when he became king and everything like that. You say, well, he must be caring, he must be softly spoken, he must be a man of God, and all these types of things. So yeah, like you said, the canonization or whatever really gives this air of purity and caring and being a good person. Actually, again, kingy stuff, like all the kings did, kingy stuff.
So, yeah, exactly. He did. Yes, he was pious, but he didn't get on with his in-laws at all.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And he marries Edith, who they seem to. Well, she seems to do her best to make him kingly in terms of dressing him. But in the chronicle of his life, apparently, which I think she had something to do with, she claims he never slept with her. Well, that's not going to get you an heir. So, and there's conjecture that is because how much he hated his father-in-law, who was responsible for his brother's murder. It's all very messy. It's all very, very messy.
It was.
So I don't know. It's not that I think he's particularly, compared to other kings and compared to other people of his time. I know we don't like that phrase, but he's not unusual. He's kind of doing what he needs to do. But if you put that against the how he's remembered, Edward the Confessor, as if he's purely pious in a Henry VI style, then I feel like I want to score him down, because I don't think he's that.
Yeah. His reputation doesn't precede him, it follows him, but it's not very accurate. Yeah, he wasn't. I don't feel he's hero-y. I don't.
No. Okay,
he wasn't the worst. He wasn't the worst. He was probably a bit better than Canute. Not hard. But
I'm a bit of a Canute fan.
I don't like any of them.
Really? Oh, I do.
I like Uhtred.
Uhtred of Bebbanburg. Yeah. Bebbanburg?
Then that
How big a deal is Westminster Abbey?
I
It's a
don't
big deal.
care.
Westminster Abbey is a big deal. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
personality-wise, he doesn't get on with his wife. He doesn't leave any children. He leaves a mess for the country. I find that really, I just,
Not very well, really.
it's irresponsible in my mind. I'm gonna score him low. I'm gonna give him a 5. I'm feeling harsh.
It is.
It is harsh or it is accurate?
No, I'm going to give him a 5 because there was a fairly protracted period of peace comparative to before and after. So he deserves sort of some bonus points for that, doesn't he? But it's sort of like the cock up he left. I mean, who doesn't very clearly state this person is my heir? I mean, who doesn't do that?
Well, that's
Or
it.
him?
It's all right providing peace for a few decades, but then leaving it in a state that's gonna cause, civil war
Yeah,
or invasion, which is what happened.
yeah.
Both, I think it's pretty low.
No,
So, okay, so we've
very
both said
good.
5. Cat, I said 6. Um, While he had the reputation for being a pious, charitable, and loving monarch, he seems to have held grudges in his personal life against his mother,
Mm.
father-in-law, and wife. There you go. He reads as a bit spiteful, to be honest. Yeah. So we're in agreement, I think. There we go. Okay. Level of skill or importance. So let's go for, I think, for him. We could go for both here, but in terms of importance, he does. We've had some comments here mentioning Westminster. He does move the capital from Winchester to Westminster. So
Mm.
he rebuilds the abbey, he rededicates the abbey, and he builds the Palace of Westminster, which moves the the, the power centre,
Mm.
an ecclesiastical power centre as well, um, to Westminster. And this is exactly exactly where our current, the power has been held ever since.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you've got Westminster and you've got Whitehall. So your Westminster is like where our Houses of Parliament are, and then Whitehall, which was originally called King Street. There was streets that fanned out from Westminster, and this is where, of course, if you want to be near the court, you get a house there, you build one. So everyone along those streets are also members of the ruling classes. And again, you've still got that. Whitehall is where Downing Street is, and all our like the Ministry of Defence and all the civil service are sort of based there as well.
Mhm.
So so that's massively important, So in terms of importance,
Mm.
there's just there's a big thing in terms of
Well,
that.
yeah, I mean, in that time, religion was just everything, wasn't it? And the fact that he was seen as, I suppose this is where again it comes back to the Confessor bit. He was seen as such a big figure with that element of it and supporting monasteries and all sorts of things like that. That at the time that made him a very big deal because religion was so central to everybody's life in pretty much every capacity. So, he was very, very significant, I think, in
Mm.
that capacity, and people did want to see that change from Danish rule back. So he sort of changed quite, he brought back some of the old noble families and all these sorts of things, and really structurally changed how the things were being run.
Mm.
Made some very big changes in quite a period of time, which in many ways, for a little while, was quite successful.
See, the thing, I don't know that I accept the Danish, that people wanted a different,
Well, I
or
suppose
they
it
wanted the
was.
Danish out because we'd had Danish rulers, and the Danelaw was like 2/3 of the country, um, but near on at one point, and I think someone's just made the point. The chronicles were written or about him, or sorry, were commissioned by him or people close to him, and so of course you have to treat them with sort of the pinch of salt or whatever that they deserve. But in terms of importance, I would say is high, and it's not all for good reason. You know, he impoverished other monasteries in order to bestow lands on Westminster. You know, so he didn't care about the monasteries in I think it was Pershore Abbey that he took lands from and transferred them over to Westminster. So yeah, so it's not that everything. I think when we're saying importance, it's not that we're saying that everything they did was a positive thing. It's just how
significance and how it affected the lives of the people at the time. Was it a little bit, or was it really life changing for them all immediately, sort of thing? Ooh.
Yeah. So
I think 7.
Okay, I'm going to go 8. But yeah, because that kind of I think the moving of the power base was quite a big change. And then we'll see what Kat has said. She's given 7. The longevity of his rule and his life and rule are notable, as is his reputation, stemming from the chronicles written about him towards the end of his reign.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so positivity of legacy.
Oh, I don't know. That was constructive and useful. I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank God I'm here.
I need to go low. I think
it's all a bit.
The Norman invasion and the alteration to the country was significant, brutal, persevering. It changed everything, and I think it the repercussions of it are still felt now. I mean, we have more links to France and everything still than Scandinavia, and yet it could have gone such a different way. I'm not saying one was better than the other, actually, but the Norman invasion wasn't nice.
Yes.
The harrying of the North was horrendous.
I mean, I don't think there are actually words invented to describe how awful that is.
No. So, okay. All right, I can't keep it up with all the comments and my own thoughts at the same time. So I'm in terms of positivity of his legacy, I think it's got to be low. I'm actually going quite low. I'm going to give him a 3.
I'm going 4.
Okay, and Kat, for once, is less harsh than we are. She's gone for a 5. He may not have been able to help the fact that he did not produce any children to succeed him, but by failing to clearly lay out a path for a peaceful succession after him, he left his people in real danger.
That he did.
That he did.
That he did.
Okay, so final scoring for the evening. We need to get you all to score him for his agency in his positivity.
His agency and his positivity.
Oh,
people are excited. They're
it's
voting
getting late. Yeah.
Are you tired and showing off, Philippa?
I'm tired and showing off now. Yeah. Oh, people have started. Right, quick, 20 seconds.
Okay,
Go for it.
okay,
Yes
start.
or no?
So, did he have agency in his legacy?
Yeah.
Again, this is a tricky.
I want to put my 2 penneth in.
Yeah, I've got a feeling we're going to say the same thing. But how long are we giving people?
20 seconds.
Oh dear, stop then.
So we have got more no's this time, but the yeses still have it, I think. So yeah.
Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, definitely more yeses.
Okay. So he gets a yes. I would have gone no on that one as well.
Me too.
Reason being, he literally just went, see ya.
and I
Sort
haven't
it
made
out
a decision,
yourselves.
and I'm going to die. So,
So he
you
wouldn't
will
have known.
no,
He
he
literally
couldn't have
left
known
it to fate. He left it to fate.
mm,
But
and
anyway, that's
nobody, I think, could have anticipated the clusterfuck that followed.
mm, mm. It was
So,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Voila!
Voila, we
We
have
have scored
scored.
the people. Yay
We've
us.
scored our final not our final 3, our last 3. We have seen off some trolls. We have, whilst doing so. Oh, man. I tell you what, they're persistent, though, because they're subscribed as well.
Oh, well, eventually, like all twats, they'll go away.
Oh, you'd hope so. Okay,
Mm.
cool. So I will put all that into the league table along with the scores from the last time when I wasn't here. And next time we do this, I will run through the league table because I
It's
haven't got
getting
that ready.
very
So
exciting now.
we're nearing the end.
We
Um,
are. We've got some really cool stuff planned as well, haven't we? But we're not telling you what it is.
no.
Mhm.
Next week, I'm on tour. Kat
Mhm.
will still have just had a baby.
Yes. Um,
And Catherine, I don't know what you're doing, but
well, I will. I might have some comedy murders. I'll see what I can find.
oh yes, so Catherine's doing a very good job of when the rest of us are letting her down,
Punking
we
off.
can't turn up, of going into our archives and
Yeah.
digging out a classic
There's not
for
loads. I thought that there were more, but there are a few. Some of them might need a little bit. This one I'm thinking of just saying there's somebody in it who's not dead enough. So I think I'm gonna hack that bit out. But there's I know there's a very there's something amusing at the end. Yes. So I'll have a watch through and see what we can put together with the help of my son, who I will bribe with Jaffa cakes to do that for me.
Excellent, love it. So yeah,
Yes.
so we're not here live next week, but something will probably go out. And then Catherine and I will be back the week after again. Very, very well. Cat won't be here. Cat needs some weeks off. So
Does, yeah.
um, we're going to be discussing Sir Christopher Wren of the Dome fame.
Fame.
Um,
Yeah,
so we'll be doing that. We have some special guests coming up over the next few weeks.
excited.
Um, which we'll tell you more about nearer the time.
Mhm.
So we've got 3, I think, coming up. So that's going to be really fun.
Have we
And we will, by the end
anything
of the year,
to
have
do?
finished the History Hero series.
Yes, I can only think of 2, but that's probably because I have forgotten someone.
Yes, you've
Oh,
forgotten
Melissa, I
someone.
want the Howards. I haven't forgotten. I know I haven't forgotten either. We love the
All of them?
Howards because they're horrible.
The Horrible
Mm,
Howards. Mhm.
yeah, they're kind of a deceased to get series all of their own, aren't they? The Howards.
Well, the
They're
slave will feed
unpleasant.
into ideas for the future.
They're
Mhm.
unpleasant. We do not like it. Right.
No.
So there
Okay,
we go.
so
3
before
more
we
done
go,
and dusted.
we're all done and dusted. So before we go, if you want to contribute to our keeping us going fund, you can go to buy me a
Power
coffee.
through.
You can go to
Oh,
buymeacoffee.com/had podcast, and there you can buy us little mini Winnie bagels, which is cute. So why not? And yeah, it helps us keep going with this. And I think that's about it. Just if you want to follow me on tour next week, please do.
yes.
I'll be on Instagram, my British History Tours Instagram. So that would be lovely to have you over there. But yeah, that would be lovely.
You can
Anything else
sign
you want
up
to say?
to our Substack. It's very free, and one day we will put lots more exciting things on than we're doing at the moment. It's was it?
Have I still not? I've not still not.
I was going to say British History Tour Substack, and I'm like, no,
You can
Catherine,
put.
that's
You can. Yeah, do that. It
it was,
is. Here we go. It's
there we go.
historyafterdarkhub.substack.com.
Yes,
Yeah.
there it is. And yeah, that will be it, probably.
So yeah. Okay. Right. We're both getting tired and starting to show off now. So we're going to go.
Yeah.
Um.
It's been a long day. I can't lie.
mm,
Yes.
It is a long day. I'm normally in bed by now.
Yeah. Well, Philippa's recommendation, I started taking the magnesium,
Oh, did
and
you? Good
I don't
girl.
know if it's a coincidence, but I have been falling asleep quicker.
Yes. No, that's not a coincidence. It's
So, the thing is I
brilliant.
don't at the moment, I don't now even care if it's a placebo effect. I don't care as long as
No, if it works, it works. But
it works.
it will be beneficial, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good times,
Good, good,
people,
good.
good times.
Good, good, good. Yeah. Okay, then, everyone. We shall see you in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. See
Bye.
you soon.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.